Hi there, Tracy from Kazadan's Equestrian. This week I'm going to look at starting to evaluate a horse's conformation, and this week predominantly we're talking about symmetry. So no body and no horse is perfect, but it is important to actually be able to objectively evaluate how your horse is put together. The way your horse is constructed is called its conformation. By doing this evaluation, you can be aware of some of the challenges your horse may face, which is going to lead you to have a happy and healthier horse for longer. One of the things that's really important is to understand the link between the horse's conformation and function or form or the actions it will perform. I dabble in the dog world as well, and this is equally as critical. I hear and see many people saying it doesn't matter what horse I buy because I'm only just going to be doing blah. Or same with dogs, I only want a pet dog. There's a reason we do conformation showing in dogs. It's very similar. We need to be able to critically and objectively evaluate the conformation to see if that is something that we want to reproduce. So sure, if you're into breeding horses, then the pedigree and the lines are going to be very important. But of course, you can have the best lines in the world that you like. And if the conformation of the horse that you're breeding from isn't very good, you're probably not going to produce very good foals on the ground. For most of us, it's not the pedigree that matters. What matters the most is, does the horse standing in front of me, is it put together in a way that presents the least challenges for the function that I want to perform on this horse? Some simple example, if you're buying a jumping horse, whilst by looking straight on you want those front legs to be very straight, from looking side on you actually want a nice sloping shoulder, and you also want a reasonably sloping hind end, not too straight, because the horse will not be able to propel itself as well over a jump. If your front legs are crooked, the concussive forces on those front legs, if you're going to jump your horse, is going to lead to early lameness and arthritis. So in that simple example, you can see how very important it is that conformation relates very strongly to function. So the first thing to look at is overall symmetry. Overall symmetry means, is the left-hand side of the horse look very similar to the right-hand side of the horse? Now, it's quite likely that your horse is asymmetrical, and this is normal. The idea is to find out where and work with that. So you may have a horse that's built up more over the right shoulder or the left shoulder. You may notice that the rump is rising different on one side to the other. This is just the first step, and at this stage, that's all I want you to be able to do is recognise what is different on the left-hand side of your horse to the right-hand side. Once you've had a look at this overall, you can look at the muscle build-up as well. So going down the horse's body to the muscles and the building of the muscles and the strength of the muscles look equally on the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Please don't forget looking at your horse's neck and wither. Lift up that mane. Quite often we miss some asymmetrical problems in the neck area. The next thing we want to look at is bone and joint symmetry. So legs, so critical. Having a look at your horse's legs front on, sometimes a better way to do this is to take a photo and move away from your horse. You really need to try and teach your horse to stand square so it can be looked at properly, but your front legs should be straight. I will go into more detail when we look at leg conformation, but the front legs should be straight, and if you were to draw a line down the middle of each front leg, they should be mirror images of each other. If not, then you have a front leg asymmetry problem, and that's the first thing to identify. And of course, looking from behind, you'd like to look at the same things behind, especially with the hind leg. Points of hip either side, do they look level or is one higher than the other? This is the sort of symmetry that we're just looking at initially. Once you've had a look at this from a symmetry point of view, the next thing to do is have a look at your horse's gait. The easiest way is to either use a camera or another person even, and walk your horse out straight away from you. It has to be straight, otherwise you can see there would be definitely a problem with seeing whether it was symmetrical or not. Are both legs swinging the same? Are they both showing the same action, or are they both doing something different? Is one leg winging out and one leg sliding in? Is one leg on the ground for longer than the other leg? Does that movement look symmetrical to you? Now that is going away and coming back toward you. You can easily do this at a walk and a trot and make an assessment based on that as to whether there's symmetry in the way your horse is moving. Another great way to assess the gait and its symmetry is by using the slow motion mode on your camera, either by recording it as a slow motion or just replaying it slower to give your eyes a chance to have a really good look at what those legs are doing. So once we identify the asymmetry, the idea is to minimize that through strengthening programs. Asymmetry is a combination of both conformation and habit. Obviously, as an adult horse, we can't change the conformation, we can't change the asymmetry in the bones or joints, but we can change the habits, the way they move and the way we ride them to try and minimize this as much as possible. So why is this even important? Horses' bones and joints, and ours, were designed to work evenly. So the joints should be nice and parallel with nice even spaces between them, with normally some connective tissue or not. So what we want to do with these bones and joints is minimize the impact and load on them. The minute we, as we minimize that load, now the load is balanced evenly in a symmetrical joint. If it's not symmetrical, then that load is uneven and it will create unevenness, and without addressing it, you're going to lead to arthritis and lameness earlier and risk injury. So it is really important that you notice the lack of symmetry in your horse. Of course, the first step is to recognize it, so that's all I want you to do from this video, and stay tuned to see what we can do to minimize the asymmetry in your horse and improve its longevity. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Click that little notification bell so that you get notified of my videos each week, and also click the like button if you did, and share it around, and I'll see you next week.